Hello Year 6 and welcome to our first lesson in our new topic for this term in geography. Lots of other learning in English, art and science will all link together in this new topic, which is called perspectives. It is important to know that our topic is called perspectives as this is a word which means looking in closer detail at something from all different angles, and that is certainly what we will be doing in this unit in geography, which is all about the rainforests of the world. We're going to learn all about these interesting environments, where they occur, how they are special and important, as well as some of the issues this raises for people and our planet. Let's begin by looking at this type of environment to set the scene. The first thing we would like you to do is take your KWL grid that you'll find on the drive, which looks like this. KWL stands for what you already know. These are the details you'll add to the first column. What do you already know about the rainforest before this topic begins? Write a few notes in here. The second column is W for what you would like to find out. This is a place to write some questions or notes that come to mind, things that you would like to learn. The final column is for us to complete at the end of the topic. The L stands for learnt. I've put a symbol in here to remind you that you don't need to do anything in this part right now. We'll come back to it at the end of the term. You might want to stop the video now while you do this part and fill in your KW part of your KWL grid. Now you're back, the next part of our lesson is to think more about what we would like to learn from this topic, what key questions you have that you would like answered. What we would like you to do is create a leaf, although you can do several, as you may have several questions, and write them on the leaves for our working wall topic display at school. They might look like this. We hope to be able to answer all of these questions as the weeks of our topic progress. Now, to get you thinking more about the different areas we will explore, here are a few clips to get you thinking about the wide range of areas of the rainforest that you may want to find out more about.
Believe it or not, we get lots of our different things in our daily lives from the rainforest. If you think about paper that you write on, it comes from trees from the forest. And even if you're sitting on a chair right now, or the table, your desk that you write at, well, that's wood from the forest as well. Lots of things you eat come from the forest as well. Think about the fruit that you might eat for your lunch.
In the rainforests in Madagascar, you get things such as vanilla, which we use. But then in the rainforests of South America, you'd get things like cocoa growing there, which is chocolate.
They use it for meat, they'll hunt animals for the meat, it's very important for them. People use bark sometimes for making clothes out of, even for making roof tiles out of. Some leaves are also used for roofing, so for locally the forests are important. Within the forest themselves, very often there are many precious stones and minerals, gold, diamonds, something called coltan, which is mined out of the ground and used in mobile phones.
They can also get other things like medicine from the forest. There's lots of different plants and leaves that we can use in the forest to get medicine from, and that can help cure lots of different diseases. So the forest is really important in many different ways, not just for animals, but for people too.
Brazilian officials have told the BBC that there's been an aggressive increase in deforestation since the election of President Bolsonaro in January. An area of Amazon rainforest roughly the size of a football pitch is now being cleared every minute. The rainforest, which plays a vital role in regulating the Earth's climate, covers an area 20 times the size of Britain. Nearly 2/3 of it is in Brazil. Crucially, it absorbs billions of tons of carbon dioxide every year and produces 20% of the oxygen in the atmosphere. In the first of a series of reports, our science editor David Shukman has been to see how decades of conservation efforts are being reversed.
The rich greens of the most vibrant habitat on Earth. The billions of trees store so much carbon they help to slow down global warming. They're also home to an amazing 1/10 of all species in the natural world. Some unnerving, others adorable. But the sight of bare earth and dead trunks is becoming more common, with huge tracts of forest wiped out. My footsteps and distant bird song are the only sounds. It's tragic to see this close up. To bring these trees down to the ground, they just knocked them over with a bulldozer. This is happening all over the Amazon to create new farmland. And the result is that the great forest has never been under such pressure. Over the decades, field by field, many trees have made way for agriculture. But that's set to speed up because of a massive push for development. The new president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, was elected on a promise to exploit the Amazon. He's delighted his supporters by saying too much of the forest is protected. His environment officials are deeply worried, but he's banned them from saying anything in public. You're trying to save the forest. So we have to meet this official in secret. His face hidden and voice changed, he says the government is trying to cover up the loss of the forest.
Eles não querem que a gente fale porque nós vamos falar a verdade. Nós vamos falar que as unidades de conservação estão sendo invadidas e estão sendo destruídas. Há muitas pessoas fazendo marcações de lotes de propriedades rurais dentro de áreas que deveriam estar sendo protegidas. E os números de desmatamento aumentam, mas poderiam ser ainda maiores.
And the scale of the deforestation he describes is staggering. Up here at the top of this 50-metre high observation tower, the view is just phenomenal, out over what looks like a great ocean of green. This is the canopy of the largest rainforest in the world. The problem is that more and more of it is being chopped down. It's hard to believe, but an area the size of a football pitch is being cleared every single minute. What that means is that forest that could cover more than 2,000 pitches is just vanishing every day. And all the signs are that this rate of devastation will accelerate. Cattle are the biggest single reason the trees are cleared. They're grazing on land that used to be forest. Brazilian beef is in big demand all over the world. And the president's vision of expanding agriculture here has delighted the farmers, like Vanderlei Wegner, who says other countries cut their forest down long ago.
Nós temos que desenvolver a Amazônia, né? Porque vamos supor aqui na região do Baixo Amazonas, na região de Santarém, vive mais de 4 milhões de pessoas. Então, se precisa ter desenvolvimento também, é direito constitucional.
Farming on an industrial scale has already reached the Amazon, but the government wants to see more of it. And to weaken the laws protecting the forest. We asked to interview 2 ministers about this, but they both refused. A line often heard here is that only Brazil can decide what to do with the forest, no one else. But the fact is, the more trees are cut down, the more we lose one of the few things holding back the rise in global temperatures. So what happens here in the coming years matters far beyond Brazil. David Shukman, BBC News, in the Amazon.
Are some more tree frogs. These green tree frogs live in the rainforest. Rainforests must be one of the greenest places in the whole world. Look at all those trees. It's very warm and wet in the rainforest, so plants love to grow there. Some of the plants grow really big. It rains all the time, that's why it's called the rainforest. Lots of different plants grow in rainforests. This is a fern. You can see the fronds unfolding. Some plants even grow in the water. We speeded this film up for you because it takes a long time for them to grow. But plants aren't the only green things in the forest. Lots of animals are green too. Green, buzzing bugs. Hungry green caterpillars. Busy green bees. Shiny green beetles. Groovy green lizards. Cheeky green parrots. And sneaky green snakes. These snakes don't just slide and slither. They can jump too. Lots of animals are green, so they can't be seen. Remember the green tree frogs? There's one hiding in that plant.
I recently learned something amazing about the rainforest. About 25% of modern medication comes from its plants. The rainforest holds remedies for everything from snake bites to tumors. The rainforest is particularly rich in plants proven to fight cancer. Today on Supernatural Adventures, I'm going to take you with me to meet a man who knows the secrets of rainforest plants. This is Candido Morales. He lives in Puerto Viejo on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. Candido is part Bribri, which is one of the indigenous groups of people in this area of the world. The Bribri have existed for 5,000 years. Like many indigenous populations around the world, however, the number living today has shrunk dramatically from several 100,000 to just 11,000 people now. Candido is a botanist, which is someone who studies plants. In the Bribri culture, however, being a botanist is more than just studying plants. It's about being an expert in the ancient art of using plants as medicine to cure sickness and disease. Most of this knowledge is unknown to people who live in modern societies. When we're sick, we get medicine from a pharmacy, and it comes in a powder or a pill. When someone comes to Candido because they're sick, he goes out into his garden and finds the right plants, the way native peoples have been doing it for thousands of years. I asked Candido to show me around his natural pharmacy, which has more than 1,500 species of plants. Candido told me he learned the secrets of the plants from his Bribri mother. Bribri is an oral culture, which means they don't write things down. Instead, they pass information and their customs from generation to generation by telling it. They have no written language and thus no books, except simple ones like this, that are made up of pictures to tell a story. This makes Candido's knowledge about the plants all that more precious, because it's all in his head. If he dies without passing this knowledge on to other people, it's like losing a book with 5,000 years worth of information in it. But Candido is passing on his knowledge. Every Saturday, Bribri kids from the area come to Candido's home to learn about Bribri culture. For instance, this is their calendar, and this is how they write their numbers. The children also learn about medicinal plants. Will and Michael and I joined in on one of Candido's classes. In today's class, Candido is showing us how to make a stretcher out of forest materials.
Ahora sí, jálelo aquí. Ahora no, jala aquí este. Es correcto. Ahora eso, ahora amárrelo ahí como te le amarras.
One of the things I learned from spending time with Candido and other native peoples is that nature provides just about everything we need to survive and be healthy. Will got to pretend he sprained his ankle. Candido showed us which plants to gather to stop pain and swelling. Then Will got to try out the stretcher. In addition to medicine, I learned that the Berber used plants for all kinds of things, like making natural paint.
Vamos a pintar los colores aquí. ¿Ves?
The rainforest really is an unbelievable treasure chest full of natural riches. In fact, even though rainforests cover just 2% of the Earth's surface, they hold more than 50% of the world's animals and plants. And guess what? Only 1% of the rainforest plants have been researched by Western scientists. That means there are a lot more medicines and cures hidden in the forest that are yet to be discovered by modern scientists.
Now it's time to design your leaves and write your key questions for our topic wall, so you might want to pause the video at this point so you can do that and write your own questions. The final part of our lesson today is to look up some key vocabulary that we're going to need to understand for this geography unit. You're going to find this on the PDF or the PowerPoint that you're being shown. You can perhaps use a dictionary or use the internet to find out the definition of these key words. Good luck everybody, see you next week.